Is it possible to create good videos without buying any equipment? Well, I believe so. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 tips on how you can use things at home to create better videos. COVID has made it so more and more people need to film themselves doing presentations and also save some money. So I thought if we could share some tips on how to film yourself at home using things you have at home, that could be a nice video.
Anders, du ikke litt ferdig med disse videoene her? Det litt sånn Anjax 2016-stil over det her.
Men det jo fint å dele gratis tips. Egentlig greia at jeg skal promotere kurset vårt. Ok, fint? Takk. You didn't record that, right?
No.
Just, yeah. So, the location is my home. And the tips I'm going to show you in this video is how to get good lighting and good sound for free. Let's start off by looking at where we can get good light at home during daytime. Tip number 1, using windows to get good lighting. Okay, so today's location is the living room, and I'm going to find a place to sit and also a place to put the camera. In my case, the phone, as that is the first level in this course. And again, I'm going to go back to the first important step, and that's the lighting. With good lighting, we get good video quality. Of course, we can always use lamps we have at home, but they're often not too strong enough. So we're going to look at windows. That's probably one of the best places to film, is next to a window, because you get soft and really natural light. You, of course, want to position yourself towards the light, so you get enough light in your face. If I do it in this way, I will get the light in my back. So, of course, sitting against the light is the best position. But now we have the window in front of us, and when we look straight forward into the window, the light is quite flat. We don't see a lot of shadows. So I do recommend sitting a little bit to the side of the window, maybe 20 degrees or something. So I'm going to position myself a little bit to the side, and as you can see now, we can create a little bit of more shadow in the face. Instead of here, where it's completely flat, we have a little bit of shadow, which can look good. The second tip is to use curtains and bed sheets to soften the sunlight. Of course, what's important is to think about the sun, because some windows might have direct sunlight hitting you, and that can be a problem because it creates a lot of shadow in your face, and that often doesn't look so good. When it's cloudy, or if you go into the shadows, you get more soft light, which looks better. So my tip for this is to either find a window that doesn't have direct sunlight, or if you have the sunlight, try to find something to diffuse the light and make it softer. For example, you can use a curtain like we have here. Just pull this over. So this is with the sun, and this is with the curtains. Actually, you can use most types of fabrics. This is a bed sheet. If you don't have a curtain, you can always connect this somewhere close to the window with some clamps, or tape it up, and that will soften the lights. As you can see, the fabric you're using shouldn't have any colors to it, because that will actually give a color effect to the light. The bigger the light source, the more soft light you get. Since we're now using this sheet, the light source becomes bigger because it spreads all around the sheet. When you look at the sun, it's very small, so it creates a hard light. You can also bounce the light through the ceiling or to the walls, and then it will bounce and create a softer light because the light source becomes bigger. And the third tip is to use color temperature and white balance to make your skin look perfect. We use the white balance setting on the camera to make the colors right and match the color temperature from your light. But which color temperature is the right to choose? Look at what light is hitting your face, your skin. You don't want your skin to look strange. In our case, the window daylight is our main light, hitting our face. So we set the color temperature to daylight. Many people tend to mix tungsten lamps with daylight. And if you do that, especially coming from the same place, the colors will look unnatural and a bit artificial. So try to avoid using orange tungsten light and daylight from the same spots. You might use a tungsten lamp and daylight, together, but try to place it somewhere maybe behind you or another place where you don't mix the lights together. What I do recommend when you start adjusting the lights is to turn off all the tungsten lamps that you have inside your house and only focus on the daylight first. But then, if you see that in the background, it's a bit boring, maybe you can try to turn on some of the tungsten lamps and see what it does with the image. Sometimes it can actually be nice to have something like this in the background. And this is then called a practical, because it's then visible within the frame. Practicals can often make your image more interesting. This is without the practical, and this is with. Test it out yourself. Tip number 4 is to use pillows to get better sound quality. Yeah, it is a little bit of a reverb here, so I'm going to try to fix that. So, a trick is to add some pillows in front of you, especially the places where you have hard surfaces. Because you're talking towards the phone and the camera, and the sound will then reflect in the hard surfaces, like the window, and go back to you and create the reverb that you don't want. So I'm gonna add some pillows here and there. And this is probably gonna look a bit stupid, but no one sees it except you. You won't see it in the framing, so that's no problem. Because now I'm talking in this direction and the sound gets absorbed by these soft pillows. And yeah, the sound quality is much better. Okay, now we have come to the part where we're gonna adjust the sound. And again, I'm gonna try to listen if I can hear any noise. I think the sound is already quite good. Because now I'm talking in this direction. It is a little bit of a reverb here, so I'm going to try to fix that. And the sound gets absorbed by these soft pillows. And yeah, the sound quality is much better. Also, of course, the closer you are to the microphone, the better sound quality you will get. But since I don't recommend you to be this close to the camera because it's quite intense for the viewer to see something like this, I would recommend going a bit back, but not too far away. I think like if you're able to stretch your hand and actually touch your phone, I think that's a good distance when it comes to the sound. If you're further back, the sound won't be as good. And finally, tip number 5 is to use a second phone to record the audio and get much better sound quality. If you still don't think that the sound is good enough and you don't want to invest in a microphone, there is a trick there. You can, if possible, you can borrow someone's phone and use this to record the sound. I think almost every phone nowadays has a sound recording app pre-installed. So here is on the iPhone. So I'm going to now show you the difference of the sound coming from my camera, my Samsung phone, and this one. Okay, so I'm going to press record here now. Okay, so this is the sound from my phone camera, and this is the sound from the sound recorder on the iPhone. And I can always place this like under the frame, like here. So if I move a bit more back, let's say if I want this to be the frame, I can now actually sit a little bit further away as well and still get good sound quality from the iPhone. So if I manage to put this outside of the frame, like down here, so this is the sound from the Samsung camera, and this is the sound from the sound recorder on the iPhone. If you don't mind that this is in frame, you can always hold it like this, but it might be a bit disturbing. You can also just find a little table next to you, maybe something like this, and place the phone like down here, pointing with the bottom side. I think that's where the microphone is, on the bottom of the phone, and point it towards you. Since I'm now recording the sound on this phone and I'm recording the video on that phone, I need to synchronize them in post. So in my editing software, I need to synchronize them to make it work. How to do this and a lot more tips and tricks on how to film yourself for free, I'll show you in a new course we made. In the course, I also give you advice on equipment you should invest in, and I'm focusing on making you understand how things work, so you can find your own path and develop your own skills.
That sounds so boring. Why should I even learn the basic stuff? I want to learn about Cine i2 Pro Mavic DJI S.
Okay, take a look at this tree and imagine this is kind of a metaphor of your filmmaking skills. When you watch YouTube videos and you see videos about, softbox, or you get recommended a certain type of camera or a microphone you should buy, or you should place your camera here and there, and that's a lot about the details, the leaves, the branches, and everything. What you really want to learn is the fundament, the trunk, the roots, and really understand filmmaking and finding your way of solving challenges. And as you probably guessed in this video, I made a course, and I kind of a little bit promoting it as well. Where I'm actually trying to give you a little bit more strength in your trunk, in a way, if that makes sense. And when you get a solid trunk and solid roots, the leaves and branches will get stronger. So if you want to buy the course, it's online, and since also I shared some of the tips from the course, you already now seen some of it, so I'll give you some discount. You can use the code IAMA3 when you purchase the course on andex.com/course, and you will get some discount. It's just a link in the description, and you can also go to andex.com/course. And if you guys are waiting for a new episode of Making a Film Company, it will come. I'm so excited. And if you haven't seen the whole series, it's about how we made a film production company and how it goes. You can check out all the episodes in maybe this playlist or something. Yeah, but check out the course first, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, ha det bra!